How's everyone doing? Welcome back to Words of Edification with Caleb. Hope everyone's having a great day out there today. Hope everyone's day is blessed. Man, I'm just grateful, man. There's not too much I really can say. There's not really too much that I really could, gloat or boast over, but in the grace and the mercy of God, man. Just man, doing what God is called you to do, doing what God is leading you to do. It comes with the cost, man. A lot of people want to be chosen. A lot of people. Now I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just something that God has given me. But a lot of people want to be chosen. A lot of people want to say, God, I want this, and I want the reward of a chosen person, which that comes with favor and mercy and protection and the anointing of God that's over your life and the power of the Holy Ghost. All those things come with being chosen by God, but it is all tailored and given for a specific assignment. See, God doesn't give you power and protection. If God puts a mantle on you to make sure that you perform a certain task or that you fulfill a certain mission, there has to be something that goes with that. God is just not going to tell you to go somewhere but not provide everything that you need. So if God is telling you that you're going to be a billionaire, he needs to make sure that you have billionaire protection. I don't see one billionaire out here walking back and forth by himself. He has precautions set in place. He has security set in place. People know who he is. Exposure comes with that. So a lot of times when people are chosen by God and they have certain gifts, certain talents, they have certain insights, they have certain favor over their life, have certain protection, God just doesn't let anything happen to them. Even if they do make a mistake, God deals with them himself. He doesn't allow the wicked the devil to accuse them and put them in a position where it hurts them. And while God is disciplining them, then while he's disciplining them, it may delay their destiny, but it's because God wants to refine that foolishness out of the chosen one. So don't think that the chosen children of God that has these purposes, that has these mantles over their life, that their own father do not whoop they behind. So we get whoopings too. So you know what I mean? So, but I'm just saying this, I don't know what got me on that, but I want you to know this is Words of Edification with Caleb. And this message is called There is a Time and Place for Everything. And well, I just said place, but there's a time and season for everything, but there's a time and place for everything under the sun. And that's what Ecclesiastes Chapter 3 says, and that's what we're going to go over today, Ecclesiastes Chapter 3. And I just want to encourage you before we get started. I'm not, like they say, I'm not going to be before you long. You know how some of those preachers do, and then they be like for 20 hours. But I'm not going to be before you long. But what I want to encourage you today is that you really get to a point where you focus on how to improve your own personal life. Man, there's too many people out here comparing their lives. They want what someone else has. Like, you cannot tell me if and I say this all the time, when I have a business podcast that God bless me with, and I always say this all the time, I need to focus on what God is calling me to do. I cannot out Steve Jobs, and a lot of y'all are trying to out neighbor your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Whoever God is placing your proximity for you to gain inspiration from, to get on your own path and to do what God has called you to do, you start hating on them, you start being jealous, you start attacking them because you're looking at like, oh, they have this and they have that. But don't you know that the only reason that people have what they have is because they have made the decision to go through the hard times in pursuit of doing what they know they're called to do. It's just like this. If I want to become a firefighter, don't you know that anything that you do in this life is going to come with some resistance? When you want to become a firefighter, don't you know that you have to go through some tests? You have to go through some struggles. There's a certain process that you have to go through. You're going to have to bear so much weight. You're going to have to, be able to carry all this weight, carry this equipment, be able to go up a wall, run into a burning building, learn certain routes in and outside of a building. You have to learn certain fundamentals so you won't only hurt yourself while trying to rescue somebody else, but you won't hurt your partner or one of your colleagues. You won't hurt them as well by doing something foolish and making them have to come save you. So there's a whole process. Somebody thinks, man, I just go in there and take the firefighter test, and I'll be a firefighter. That's not true. Anything that you want to do in this life is going to take a process. It's going to take, you want to become a police officer, you have to go through cleat training, and you got to go through firearm training, and you have to go through a certain SWAT training to do certain things. You know what I mean? To be a detective, there's certain classes you need to take. There's certain things to be a an agent, certain FBI agent, or to be a basketball player, or to be a elite soccer player. Whatever you want to do in this life, it's gonna cost you some pressure. It's gonna cost you maybe some sleepless nights. It's going to cost you a process. Everything in this life, its process is different. There's a different process that I need to go through in order to be a culinary chef, to be a Michelin 5-star chef. There's a certain process that I need to go through. So, but there's a different process that I need to go through to be a multi-billionaire tech CEO. So even though I've accomplished a certain thing in this area, there's a different process. You cannot compare your process to somebody else's process, because both of you guys' lives are different, and your path and your purpose for your life is going to be different from that person. Don't you know that somebody's purpose placed on this planet was just to be a nurse, to be good to people in a hospital, to be good and be a light in the hospital, to be able, somebody on their dying bed that don't have any family, just to be there for them and talk to them for those last 10 minutes and brighten up their day. Don't you know that it's somebody's purpose to be that God places in that position? They're not some big real estate agent. They're not some big, God has different positions for everybody, and you need to find out what exactly you're supposed to be doing with your life. You got to get over the fact that it's going to be easy. It's too many people trying to take shortcuts. It's too many people trying to steal, siphon, do stuff and thinking it's going to be easy. Don't you know there's a consequence to everything that you do? You know what I mean? So it's hard for you to. Everything you do is going to be a consequence. Either you're going to go through the process or you're going to reap the regret. It's either two things you're going to reap. Either you're going to reap the reward or you're going to reap the regret. And you don't want to reap a reward that comes with regret. Sometimes you may get the money. Sometimes you may get the car. Sometimes you may get the trophy wife or the trophy husband you want. Sometimes you may get the, whatever anybody, sometimes you may get the gold and the silver, and sometimes you may get the gifts. Some people, a lot of times with people, they want to use spiritual means to do certain things and have certain people's gifts. But the thing is that the gift has to be developed. I could have a love for art. I'm trying to give you some understanding. I could have a love for art, but don't you know my love for art is not going to develop to the point that it needs to be at a professional or a elite or a supreme level unless I continue to do it over time, and it starts to develop over time. It's like riding a bike. When you first get on anything that you do in this life, it's going to be like you're the new kid, and like you're the new kid at a brand new school, like you're the new kid who transferred from a new school. You start a new job, you're the new kid on the block. You know what I'm saying? If you start to learn how to be a carpenter, you're the new kid on the block. Every level in life that you go to, I'm on level 1. Okay, I'm the new kid. Once I learn how to do everything on level 1, I go up a level, which is level 2, but I start over at level 2. So a lot of time people do not think that they're growing, but you're growing, but you just feel like you're not growing because you're comparing yourself to somebody else, but you're on a new level, and every new level that you enter into, you have to start at 0. You playing Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, okay, you pass level 1, but when you get to level 2, you don't go straight to the final boss. You start at the beginning of level 2. And that's the same thing with life. That's the same thing with your gifts. I can have a passion to want to do something. Just say I want to learn how to do real estate. Okay, yeah, I learned how to do real estate. First, I got the knowledge. That's level 1. Second, I found financial options on the way that I can leverage my personal credit or fix my credit, and then leverage that personal credit to get some money so I can start to go into real estate. Maybe, get some tax liens or some tax deeds, or just gain the knowledge that you need and get you can I don't know why I'm going into this, but you can take $50, find you a tax lien sale, and buy a property for $50. If somebody doesn't pay that property tax for $50, that you can get you a house for $280,000 because somebody didn't pay $50 in their taxes, and that they didn't pay that $50 on their taxes for a $280,000 house. So what happens is that now that you bought that tax lien and they didn't pay the tax on the property, now you can cash that tax lien in and exchange it for a tax deed, because now you're the owner of a $280,000 property, but it's just because they were $50 behind in property tax. So you know what I'm saying? So you can find ways to get into real estate. You can find ways to do certain things easily. You know what I mean? So it doesn't, you just have to take the time. Just, man, and you know how I started, how I started doing what I started to do when it comes to business. And then, and I know, and we're going to move on with the message. The message is there's a time and a place for everything. And also there's a time and a season for everything. But I want you, how I got into business, I started out 1 hour a day. I told myself 1 hour a day, I'm going to dedicate that to what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to think about, I don't have the money. I'm not going to think about who's going to support me. I'm not going to think about, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to think about none of that. I'm just going to think about, I want to learn how to customize Air Force Ones. I want to learn how to take all these shoes that I see online. I want to learn how to customize Air Force Ones, and I'm gonna start by learning what paint sticks to the shoe. Where can I buy 10 pairs of Air Force Ones at, at $5 a piece if I got to order them from China? I start looking up stuff that I could do where I can start to fulfill that dream, even though I didn't have the money to do it. But I watched videos of someone else decorating the shoe. I watched videos of how they did the shoe. I started somewhere, just an hour a day. Everything that you see in somebody's life, if they do something effortlessly, if they do something flawlessly, don't you know they didn't start right there? I didn't always like to talk or to be in front of people. I'm very quiet. I'm very to myself, unless I really need to say something. But what I want to encourage you today is this. Just take time out, man. I'm gonna tell you something. The best thing that you can ever do to show yourself that you love yourself is going after your dream, man. Going after your dream, man. Throwing everybody else's opinion in the trash. Somebody is saying, man, I dug myself in a hole. Now I have 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm addicted to cigarettes. My money budget is all out the way, man. I'm done so much, man. I'm so deep in a hole that I don't even know where to start. And I'm gonna tell you, start right where you at. If you're still smoking cigarettes, you know what I mean? That's not gonna stop overnight unless the Lord deliver you from them. But start where you at. Whatever you want to do in life. Don't you know there's people still out there smoking cigarettes and they still have a baking company? Don't you know that there's somebody, and it's not all about the money, it's about what's on the inside. But what I'm saying is, man, start where you are and then God will help you along the way. But you just got to get started, man. Don't let nobody discourage you. Don't let nobody pull you backwards. Don't let anyone, it's not about your behavior. People think, man, when I serve God, you know what I'm saying, I got to be all the way together. Man, God wants you to confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that he's the Lord Jesus Christ, and God can help you to get to where you need to get to. You don't have to work for somebody the rest of your life. You don't have to beg for the rest of your life. You don't have to steal, kill, and destroy people's lives to have something for the rest of your life. You don't have to live life like that. You know what I mean? You can have what you want to have, do what you want to do, and be who you need to be for your family and for yourself moving forward in life. It just starts with the decision. So, but today's episode, man, is this is going to come out of the word of God. It's Ecclesiastes Chapter 3. It said everything has a time. To everything there is a time and a purpose for everything that's under heaven and under the sun. A time to be born. There's a time to die. There's a time to plant, and there's a time to pluck up what has been planted. There's a time to kill. There's a time to heal. There's a time to break down. There's a time to build up. This automatically lets you know that it's a time that it's going to be some wars, and it's going to be everything under the heaven of earth has a time. Don't you know it's going to be a time where some people get killed? It's going to be a time where people be born. It's going to be a time where people will plant stuff, good seeds and bad seeds in your life and other people's lives. And this is going to be a time where God is going to say, man, I got to pull that up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody may plant some bad seeds in your finances, try to corrupt your finances. Somebody may plant some bad seeds in your life or in your mind. But it also says that there's a time to pluck up what has been planted. So if God is trying to fulfill a purpose in your life and people are doing witchcraft or they're planting this in your life or they're planting that in your life, God said there's a time to plant. Sometimes God will allow some of that stuff to be planted in your life because he needs to use it as exercise so you can discern what's been planted in your life. So he'll let it sit there and then let it take effect so that you can be able to recognize it. Have you ever seen somebody get the flu shot, and when they get the flu shot, the next time the flu, they don't get the flu? You know why? Because the flu shot has the flu in it and your body fights off the flu and it can recognize that type of disease. It can recognize, and that's the same thing. While sometimes a lot of things do work in your life, a lot of seeds that's planted in your life, they won't be plucked up at that time because it needs to be used as a way to increase your discernment discernment. It needs to be used as a way. You know why somebody has to go through death spells? It's not because the person just dislike them. It's the spirit behind them that forces them to do that. You ever walked in a place and people don't like you and you never done anything to them? You stay to yourself. It's not them. It's the spirit that's in them that causes them to be attracted to you in a wicked way to make them attack you even though you done nothing. You know why? Because God is not, and they think it's them. Sometimes God will allow people to do stuff to train you. You know how many times I went through death rituals? You know why? It's so I can get acquainted with death. You know, you need to be acquainted with death. You need to be acquainted with poverty. You need to be acquainted with homelessness. If you can make it through those things and still have a good spirit, still have a good heart, still love people, it will ultimately raise your rank, but it will also help you to understand where somebody else is coming. How can I tell somebody else, I feel your pain, and they in a homeless situation, but I've never been homeless? How can I tell somebody that's on their deathbed, man, I understand where you're coming from, but you know, I really don't. I'm just saying it to be nice. If I've never been on my deathbed or never been acquainted with death, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is this, you know, there's a time for everything, you know, and it says, this is verse 4, said there's a time to weep. There's going to be a time where you're going to feel like you need to cry. And there's going to be a time to laugh. Everybody on this earth has all these times will happen in everybody's life. There's a time to mourn. That means you're going to lose something that's important to you. And there's a time to dance. That means there are going to be things that happen in your life that's going to cause you to celebrate. There's a time to cast stones. And there's a time to gather stones. I mean, there's going to be cast stones. It is what it is. There's going to be a time where people are going to be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And there's going to be some times where people are going to be throwing rocks and looking you straight in your face and throw another one right at your face. They want you to know they hate you. And then there's going to be a time to take those stones, gather those stones, and build. It's what you do with them. The word says there's a time to cast stones. There's going to be a time where people are going to want to stone you to death. Whether they stone you to death with lies, whether they stone you to death with hate. And sometimes people can stone you to death with love. They can give you so much love that it could be a crutch to you where you will never grow. Don't you know people can love you so much that they will keep you from growing in life. They will say, man, don't do this, I'll do it for you. Don't do this. They will cripple you and then use that love as a way to cripple, manipulate, and control you, even though they might sincerely love you. But you have to not allow people to love you so much. You need a little bit of hate, because some people can love you into a crippling mode. They will cripple you to the point that once they leave or once they die or once something bad happens and they remove their presence from you, now you don't even know what to do. Now you're so used to that love that you don't even know what to do. It can tear you apart. So don't allow people to love you, but also learn to stand on your own 2 feet, that if someone loved me or if they didn't love me, you know what I mean, I would still be able to move forward. Because I'm telling you, it's a time to cast stones. But some of them stones can be stones of love that could be able to destroy your life once those people leave. So, and it's a time to gather stones. Gathering stones is that you allow those lies to come. You allow that hate to come. You allow that love to come. But you will take those stones and you will build a legacy by everything that was done to you. There's a time to embrace, and there's a time to refrain from embracing. That means this. There's a time to embrace. Some things in life you don't have to run away from. Some things you need to embrace in life. Yeah, if you don't try to get around being an alcoholic. Go through it. Understand that you drink. Don't you? I drank before. I've drank before. I've drank plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? But don't you? I didn't try to get around it. I didn't try to say, oh, I don't have a problem. Oh man, you know what I mean? I used to be a functioning alcoholic. I'll wake up and I'll do a 16-hour shift and I'll be just as good. Still high energy. Still have a good attitude. Work 16 hours as a chef. Drinking. I'll put honey Jack Daniels in my coffee with some caramel macchiato, and then I'll go to work and drink on my break, and I get off and I drink, and I would still be highly functioning. I was a highly functioning alcoholic. Energy was still good. Get off at the middle of the night. Get off after 16 hours, go to bed, wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, be back at work at 6 o'clock like nothing ever happened. But don't you know that even though I was doing that, it was turning something up on the inside of me. I didn't know if my kidneys were failing, because I'm still thinking everything is good, but some things break down that are unseen when you are doing stuff like that. So I didn't know that. And I'm not saying I'm healthy now. I'm healthy, but I'm saying you just don't know. But there's a time to embrace certain things, and it's a time to refrain from embrace those things that you feel like are your failures. The quicker that you can get accommodated and the quicker that you can embrace things that you feel like are wrong with you, that's the quicker that no one else can have control over you. Don't you know that somebody can't tell me, man, that and I'm not, but nobody can tell me, man, you broke. And it can offend me when I've already been broke before. I know how it feels to be broke. And when I was broke, I didn't carry myself like a broke. Nobody can tell me, man, you ugly. You know what I mean? Because there's been times in my life where I wore the same clothes for 3 days. It's been times in my life where I slept on a different couch every night. There's been times in my life where I broke into old houses and slept in the garage. And you know what I'm saying? So nobody can tell me I'm broke. Nobody can tell me I'm ugly. Nobody can really tell me anything that can really hurt my feelings, because in all those times that I was in those states and people laughed at me and mocked me, I didn't go around it. I didn't get hard-hearted and bitter and try to seek revenge on people that was talking about me. You know what I said? I said, I can't even say that you're not, because right now at this moment, so I know how it feels to be broke. I embraced it. Everything that ever came my way, I didn't get around it, go under it, go over it. I went straight through it, and I took the pain, I took the hit, and you cannot get to where you need to go to or get as strong as you need to be unless you embrace certain things that are the truth. You got to embrace the truth, man. You know what I mean? I can have on $1,000 suit, and I can go and I can shake a hand of a colleague, and they'll be like, man, I'll tell you something, boss, your breath is hot. You can look good, but your breath stink. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but you need people. You have to embrace that. You can't get mad. Oh, you fired. Who you think you talking to? You pulling your you know what I'm saying? Your weight around and like this and that. And then somebody's trying to tell you that, man, hey, you look good. You know what I'm saying? I know your position there, but you need to be able to take certain things and be able to take it, embrace it, and adjust. You're like, oh man, I'm glad you told me that before I go to this meeting. At least I can go in here and, pop in here and put some gum in my mouth or something like that. But too many people are offended by the truth when the truth is really there to help you and to benefit you and to help you not to be embarrassed in the long run. If I had a wife, if I told my wife, hey man, I'm gonna tell you this, baby, you need to shave your armpits. When you wear a dress or your shirt like that, you need to make sure at all times that they shave. I don't care if you don't feel like it one day or whatever. If I tell her that and we at home by ourselves, she won't have to worry about, being lazy and going to work and then a colleague start a rumor about her talking about her armpits. Now it could be something simple like that. Or maybe you need to shave your legs. You want to shave your legs? I'll pay for you to go somewhere to wherever. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be simple stuff like that to break up couples. It'd be simple stuff like that to break up friendships. It'd be simple things like that people are not able to embrace the truth, and the truth is ultimately there to benefit the person. So if somebody tell me something right now, hey, like, man, you know what I mean? And a lot of people tell me a lot of times, man, oh man, you overly confident. I'm saying, but my confidence is not in me. It's in who God made me to be. I know that I'm a human being. I know that I'm limited. I know there are certain things that I can't do. Like I said, I can't out Steve Jobs. All I can do is every day, every moment, try to be the best version that I can be. I'm not trying to outdo somebody else. I'm not trying to be nobody. I do not have time to put my time, energy, and focus on somebody else, because while I'm watching them and I'm watching their life, my life is just passing me by because I'm missing out on all the opportunities. I'm missing out on money. I'm missing out on good relationships. I'm missing out on my own personal life because I'm watching somebody else and my life is just passing me by. I do not have the time, energy, or the attention span to worry about someone else's life while my life is passing me by. I'm spending time calling people, gossiping, talking about somebody else, but then I have my son and my daughter right here that's still waiting to go to the park. I can't even spend to give my child the attention that he or she needs while we're at the park because I'm on the phone talking nonsense, or even if I'm on the phone talking business. I don't care. Sometimes it could be a $50,000 deal, $100,000 deal, but that time is precious and you need to focus on the things that are really important in your life, not what's important in somebody else's life. It could be important for me to fix my credit. That's what I need to focus on at that time. So It says there's a time to gain and there's a time to lose. There's a time to keep and there's a time to throw away. It's like it's a time to gain. There's going to be some times in your life where it's going to be a winning season. And when it's time for you to win, I need you to buckle up and I need you to win. I don't need you to be sitting here making mistakes. I don't need you to be sitting here worrying about who's looking at you. I don't want you to be sitting around second guessing yourself saying that, man, maybe this, and let me ask my grandma, let me ask my mama, and let me ask my cousin. Sometimes you got to believe in yourself. And when it's time for you to win, you need to get up and you need to win, because there's going to be another season that's going to come and there's going to be a time for you to lose. This says in chapter 6, there's a time to gain and there's a time to lose. There's a time to keep and there's a time to throw away. When it's time for you to gain, when it's your time and your season for you to come up in life or to do certain things, don't look at, man, we missed a lot of opportunities. You know why we missed a lot of opportunities? It wasn't because we wasn't ready. It's because we didn't believe that we deserved those opportunities. I'm gonna help you to understand something. You're never gonna be ready. Let me tell you right now, you're never gonna be ready. When you get to a point where you feel like, oh, you're ready, that's when you're gonna lose. That's when you are gonna make a mistake that's gonna crush your spirit. You need to understand that whatever comes my way, or whatever opportunity comes, or whatever, I need to understand that I'm never going to be ready. If you have to learn as you go. Sometimes, man, I may take a contract or I may take a job and I don't really even know how to do it. But you know what I do? I start to study and do it as I go along. But I still got the job. You got a job in construction. Yeah, you don't know how to lay concrete. Instead of being like, man, I don't know how to lay concrete. Why I'm gonna take that job for? Take the job. You can learn as you go. People will help you, and then you will always have that skill set, and you'll be able to teach somebody else. You're never gonna. This is the most important thing I can ever tell you. You're never gonna be ready. You know what I mean? You want to worry about if you going to be a good husband. You're not ready. You're never going to be ready. You're never going to be ready to be a parent. You're never going to be ready to be a boss. You're never going to be ready to be a leader. You're never going to be ready to be a good brother or a good friend. You have to learn as you go, and you have to learn from your mistakes, embrace those mistakes, and just keep going, bro. You're never going to be ready, man. It's no time where you say, you know what, I got everything together. I'm ready now. Sometimes God won't allow you to be ready so he can bring somebody in your life to help you to get to the next level. It's not always about you, but do what you can do. And then sometimes somebody else will come into your life. So that's why, if you have a partner or somebody like that, never compete, always complete. If you got a partner or you got a business relationship, the whole thing about having a partner, having a wife or a husband or a girlfriend that you're thinking about getting married. Now, I'm not condoning that, but what I'm saying is this. The number one thing is completion, not competition. Don't compete, complete. That should be your number one goal. There's no way that the husband should be mad at his wife because she make a little bit more money. There's no way that the woman should be mad at her husband because he got more friends. You know what I mean? Simple stuff like that, man, that can silently tear down a relationship because there's hidden animosity, because you don't understand that you are there to complete. You're not here to compete. You want to compete? There's 7 billion people in the world that you can compete with, but while we in this house, we complete each other. So that's the things that you need to understand. There's a time to gain, there's a time to lose, there's a time to keep, and there's a time to throw away. Now it's the time to keep. Sometimes you need to keep some things. And you know what you need to keep? Sometimes you need to keep your thoughts to yourself. And sometimes you need to keep your business to yourself. Don't you know that the main people that are attacking your life and the reason why you can't get where you need to get in life, because you are using your mother as a crutch. Your mother is the one that's sabotaging your plans. You want to do something, but you ask your mother first, and then every time all of a sudden you get tired, you start to lose focus. You know what I mean? You start to lose that drive and what you want. A lot of times the people that you love the most and that's sitting there right in your face in your life, they'll laugh with you, they'll talk with you, they'll drink with you, they'll have lunch with you, and then they'll secretly go and sabotage you. And that could be, you could never even know that the person that's stopping you from getting to the next level, the person that's stopping you from getting a job, the person that's stopping you from getting a car is the person that you telling all your business to. You always telling your sister how you want to do this for your kids and do this. Why her kids always got Jordans and why her kids always got this. You know why? Because she want to outdo you as a mother, and when you tell her something, she's sabotaging your plans. And then she's trying to do it before you to make herself look better than you, but you think that's your best friend. You know what I'm saying? So you need to, there's a time it's a time to keep, and sometimes you need to keep your dreams, your hopes. You need to keep the things that you want to do. You need to keep it to yourself. And there's a time to throw away. Sometimes it's time to throw away things that are hurting you. People want to be in relationships. People want to be around people that are really killing their life and killing what they want to do in life. I don't care, man. If I'm working on my relationship and my homeboy is coming over here and my wife is telling me, man, I don't really want him over here or smoking in the house like that. You know what I mean? Go over his house and smoke. But he always coming around. He always coming around. He always trying to get you to do this and do that. If he's single, you need to it's time to throw some stuff away. It's time to sometimes throw away a bad attitude. It's time to throw away not being able to compromise. You know what I mean? You're going to have to compromise sometimes, man, when it comes to some things in life. The only thing that I don't compromise on is my relationship with Jesus Christ. And I don't compromise on fulfilling my destiny and doing I don't care if my leg break. I'm going to still continue to do what I'm supposed to do. I don't care if I don't care what happens. I don't care if I go broke. I'm going to still continue to get up in the morning and pursue what I believe that's my passion. You know what I mean? What I'm passionate about, I'm going to continue to pursue it. You know why? Because that's the thing that give me joy. If you wake up every morning, the thing that give you joy is I don't care what it is. Making a podcast. I don't care. The thing that gives you joy is making breakfast. I don't care whatever it is that you enjoy getting. I don't care if it's waking up and writing in your journal. I don't care if it's waking up and working out. The thing that gives you joy, you make sure that you can do that, and then you can also find a way to monetize that. If you like to work out every day, get you a little phone. Look how many people is making money and on the internet, and they're not half as good as you. They don't look half as good as you. They're not half as smart as you. They're not half as built as you. They're not these people. You got people that get on the internet, got some pink hair and don't even know how to speak English, and they're making millions of dollars, and they're over here in the United States. People just watching them. You got millions of people just watching them do nothing all day, just walk around, look funny, and do nothing all day. You can't tell me that if you're passionate about working out, that you're scared to get in front of a camera. You're worried about what people are going to say. You don't worry about what nobody else is going to say about what you want to do with your life. And you have to learn how to embrace rejection. Not everybody's going to rock with you, and you got to understand that. Shoot, not everybody is going to love you. You got to understand that. Don't you know that? I'm going to tell you this. Not everybody is going to love you. Don't you know that you go around people every Thanksgiving, every Christmas around your family, and they tolerate you, but they don't love you, but you still don't care about them rejecting your dreams and plans? What do you think about people that you were never raised with? What you think about people that you never was raised with, you never went to school with? You thinking about people all over the world that's watching you show people how to work out because you're passionate about it, or show people how to build the foundation of a house because you're passionate about it, and you're worried about what they're going to say. Man, shoot, man, you weren't worried about when your uncle told you that you'd never be nothing. You know what I mean? You still go and have a drink with him. You still love him. You weren't saying nothing about when your mother was sabotaging you with witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep mind control over you. You still going over there. You know what I'm saying? You still don't. So what about you? Do whatever you want to do without caring what anybody else got to think. So it's a time to keep and it's a time to throw away. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's time to throw away caring. It's time to throw away caring about what other people talking about. It's time to throw it away. It's a time to tear and it's a time to sow. It's a time to keep silence and it's a time to speak. It's a time to love and it's a time to hate. It's a time of war and it's a time of peace. Now this is in the Bible. This is Ecclesiastes Chapter 3, and they tell you that it's a time for everything. It says it's a time to love and it's a time to hate. It's a time for people to love you and it's a time for people to hate you. It's a time for you to love what you do and it's a time for you to hate people trying to stop you from doing what you need to do. You are a whole human being. All these emotions are placed inside of the human being. That doesn't mean people talk this is right and this is wrong and this is right. Now I'm saying you need to operate according to the word of God, but I want you to know this. The Bible says that it's a time to love and it's a time to hate. People say, man, you're not supposed to hate people. People say, and then it says it's a time to war and it's a time for peace. People say, man, you gotta be nice. You know, you don't want to go, man, don't you know if somebody come at me some certain type of way and I gotta defend myself, I'm tearing everything up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it just saying it like that, but shoot, if it comes that way, you gonna that you know what I'm saying? The military gonna come out of me. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come out of me. So I'm just saying it, but I'm not enforcing that. I'm not initiating anything that'll cause those things to come to me. But when they come to me, don't you know it's a time for war? Don't you know it's not time to sucker back? I would rather be a warrior that's working in a garden than being a gardener that's in a war. You understand what I'm saying? I would rather be a warrior that's taking my time and working in a garden than be a gardener being stuck in a war and not knowing what to do. So I'm telling you, it's a time to love and it's a time to hate and it's a time for war and it's a time for peace. So with all those things saying, man, I want you to know it's a time and it's a place for everything, man. This is Words of Edification with Caleb. I want you to know I love you. Nobody else ever told you they love you. I love you because I know how it feels not to feel love. Peace.